Well, howdy there, folks. James from Political Friar coming at you again. I saw a real interesting story pop through my feed this morning, and I thought it'd be an opportunity to update everybody on a topic that we've covered extensively over on politicalfriar.com but haven't done videos on, and that's the Trump alternative race. See, the Republican primary is going to come around at the beginning of next year, and somebody is going to be the Trump alternative. Trump's polling has been consistent between 45 and 50% in the early primary states. It really hasn't moved, and everybody else has moved below him. And so that's why when I read that Miriam Adelson had met with Nikki Haley in Las Vegas over the weekend, I raised an eyebrow. See, she met with one other person over the weekend too, and that was Donald Trump. And I expected the meeting with Trump. The Adelson family has been major Trump supporters for his entire political career. It was Sheldon, Miriam's now deceased husband, who gave Trump a huge amount of credibility with rank and file Republicans in 2016 when he backed him. He backed him to the tune of $200 million. It was a huge endorsement of Donald Trump as normal for such an important Republican donor to give him that much money. Now, I think that Adelson has regretted that approach, and we got a sense of that that maybe they were cooling on Trump this time around when Miriam announced last, oh gosh, I guess it was last spring, that they would be neutral in the Republican primary. That is to say, they weren't going to support Trump, even though they had in the past in primaries. Now they were just going to let the Republican process play out. And that receding of support, married with this meeting with Nikki Haley, makes me kind of wonder what's going to happen with the Republican primary. It also was notable. Ron DeSantis was in town too, and he didn't get a meeting with Miriam. So the Republican primary has really broken down into three tiers. Well, let's call it four tiers, because we need to make sure that we understand how big a gulf there is between tier one and tier two. So tier one is Donald Trump. Tier two is also Donald Trump. He is by far and away the most likely to become the Republican candidate for president. Tier three, in third place that is, but tier three is Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis now. It was Ron DeSantis alone for a long, long time, but Nikki Haley has surpassed him in the polling in New Hampshire, and her polling everywhere is going up, and Ron DeSantis' polling is going down. So extend the trend lines, and I'm going to put them together. Now, it's not to say that Ron can't turn things around, but he doesn't seem to be the most talented politician in the world. Tier 4 is everybody else, led by Ramaswamy, I guess, although I think the more people get to know him, the less they like him, and he has had a couple of disastrous debates. Not that people are paying all that close attention to the debates, but when you're at 4% and you can't even get on the stage anymore, that doesn't bode well for your future support going forward. So I think that he and everybody not named Nikki or Ron are destined to run out of money and drop out the same way Mike Pence did last week. And this is important. This is important because whereas if this was a normal election, it would be a coronation. Trump is way ahead, and he's ahead by every metric. The thing is, he might still flame out. I mean, he's 78 years old, and he's indicted for 91 felonies. He's about to lose his ability to do business in New York. I don't think that the outcome of his civil fraud trial is in doubt at this point, considering he's already been found liable for the most important piece of it. So he's going to have some tough times. Now, I think he'll just fight through it, like always. The sort of maniacal determination of the monster movie almost is what's a good analogy for Donald Trump. He just won't die, and that's because the supporters like him, and they like him for all kinds of reasons that this video can't get into. But if he flames out, and there's a non-zero chance that he will, we need to think about who's going to step up and be the Republican nominee, because it's going to be somebody. And based on this meeting with Adelson, that somebody might be Nikki Haley. Anyway, it's just a thought. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hit that like button, subscribe, and tell a friend. Really appreciate it. Thanks.